That's like the main one I know.
Well, he wants to get rid of people who have a foreign people who have a record.
A record? Well, okay, I agree.
So, yeah, do you think that's okay?
Well, I mean, like, if they have a really bad record and they did bad stuff, yeah, I mean, like, we don't, they're not even supposed to be in our country for, like, first, okay, I'm Dutch, okay, but they're not supposed to be in our country, they kind of, like, just, like, immigrate here, and then you do bad stuff, and then they think they can stay. No, they should go back to where they came from.
Would you be able to tell me who Geert Wilders is?
He's a Dutch politician.
Do you know his policies?
Yeah, he advocates for Muslims to leave the Netherlands.
What do you think about those policies?
I don't really like him.
No? Why?
Because I like Muslims. They're not bad. No.
His policies. Well, I know he is against the Islam quite a lot, and it is a right-winged party. And for the rest, I don't know much about his party and his policies.
What you see behind me is the Tweede Kamer, a building in which Dutch politicians make important decisions over Holland's future. Now, as you see this video, there is a political party which is advocating for the expulsion of certain minorities from Holland, the PVV. And in this documentary, I will show you the two sides of the argument, and hopefully you'll be able to make your own decision over this matter.
What he wants to do if he becomes minister?
Well, I've heard that he thinks that immigration from other countries, like third world countries, is really bad for Holland, and he doesn't want there to be any Muslims or black people around Holland, but I'm not sure about that.
Oh yeah, that's basically what he... And what is your opinion on that?
Well, I think that he's a racist, and it's really not good that he's saying these type of things, because even though Dutch people like to pride themselves on being Dutch, you know, it's good to have diversity in a culture as well. And but I do think that in the past few years, immigration rates have gone up a lot, and some people may say that because the immigrants come from a bad country, they come over here and they're not very educated, so they have really like low jobs and they don't really help the economy around. They don't really help the country. So I don't think that they should be kicked out, but I don't know if so many should be allowed to emigrate over here, if that makes sense.
So like make a balance between two.
Maybe, if that's possible.
So you know his policies and what he advocates for?
Yeah, I don't know all of his policies, but I've heard of him, know what he wants. I've read about him in the newspaper, I've seen him on TV.
What's your opinion of his opinions?
I think he's an extremist. His opinion is he shouldn't have such an open opinion. Like he might think those things like inside, but he shouldn't tell the press everything he has to say, and that his opinions are not completely right. Of course, he has a point with some of what he says, some of the things he says, but a lot of it is harsh, I would say.
Why do you think Wales is especially advocating against Moroccan and Muslim communities?
I think because those are the biggest immigrant group in Holland. Like, there are not as many blacks, I would say.
Oh, so you think if there were blacks, he would advocate against blacks?
If there were more blacks than Moroccans and Islams, then yeah, I think he would.
So basically he's just racist?
Not racist. He's kind of racist, yeah.
He's extreme.
Yeah, extremist.
Because he only looks at the bad sides of them. I mean, I think about 20-30% is bad, and the rest 70-80% is good, but you don't really see them a lot. I mean, you see lots of the Moroccans that are criminals on the street and stuff, and they're always in groups and they can look pretty intimidated, and I think he doesn't want that anymore.
Why do you think Wilders is especially advocating against the Moroccan and Muslim communities?
Advocating? What do you mean with that? Like,
he's speaking against them.
Oh, how they feel?
Yeah, why do you think he's especially against Muslim and Moroccan?
Well, because I guess if you've lived in Holland, you know that like they have a really bad, like, I don't know, how do you say, like they have a really bad like reputation, you know? So he's mainly speaking against them. So I mean, you could say about anyone in the world, but since they have a worse reputation than other kind of like, you know, societies or like groups, then that's like why he mainly is going against them.
Yeah, okay.
We have elections in Holland in June, the 9th of June, and I'm very confident that my party, the Party for Freedom, has a good chance to become not only one of the biggest, but maybe even the biggest party, and I might even be, but that is for later, the next Prime Minister of the Netherlands. And if I would be, one of the major points of my political agenda would be a stop of the immigration from Islamic countries. I have nothing against the Turkish people, even though Mr. Erdogan is a total freak. But if they would join the European Union, I would be against it, because it would mean more immigration from the Islamic culture. Besides the cost, I believe Europe is not based on Islam. So I would not be in favor of Turkey joining the European Union. In fact, if Turkey would join the European Union, I would advocate the Netherlands to leave the European Union. But I would try to have no more mosques. This is also on my agenda. And I would try to close down all Islamic schools. I believe that young children should be educated among the Dutch children.
Wilders' opinions is that Holland and Europe as a whole should not allow the entrance of Muslims anymore. That is because they have what is referred to by him as a barbaric set of principles in their religion. Also as said by Sitz Fritzma, a PVV MP, he thinks that at the most 1 or 2 maximally airplanes filled with Moroccans will have to be deported back to their countries, until the rest will have learned their lesson. Wilders claims that Muslims and Moroccans bring terrorists and criminals to Holland. I guess what Wilders refers to in his very kind words is that 32% of all crimes committed in Holland are committed by non-Western immigrants. Moroccans coming at 8% of all crime. Suriname immigrants commit 7%, Turks 5% and Antillians 4%, as said by the NYS News Bulletin. Now, Wilders doesn't plan to kick every Moroccan and Muslim out of Holland. He only plans to kick out criminals, unemployed and illegals back to their countries. He also states that he wants to destroy every mosque in Holland, as well as substitute all cultures with the Dutch culture, since in his opinion the Dutch culture is more advanced than every other culture. Well, yes, his ideas are a bit far-fetched in my opinion. How do you know the history and current issues of the immigration of Moroccans and Muslim people to Holland? I hope you have an opinion on this matter and I wish you a good day.